Okay, we were close today. We almost didn't put a title on the booger, but we're here and we're having a great time. And now we're going to see if there's any sound. Is it even streaming? We're looking here, and there it goes, popping up. And then we're going to see if there's sound, and that'll be it, man. That'll be it. Now we're going to see if there's. I turn the sound down a little bit because I get a little excited and I start shouting at people. So it's a little off today. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Lot to cover as usual. Let's go over to Tom Fishburne. And here we go. Push notifications. Your flight is boarding, not so fast, zone 1 only. Maybe you should have flown more last year. We have a deal right now on flights to Portugal. Are you sure you don't want to check that bag for $30? Okay, you can stand in line. Now better hurry up or we're taking your bag. Updated, the line is moving now. It's stopped. Some idiot can't scan his mobile boarding pass. While you wait, take a customer experience survey. Oh, there's a mechanical issue. This flight has been canceled. You're on your own. Too true. I remember getting a flight notice. I was flying out of somewhere that I was going home, and I had a fairly early flight, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning, so I had to be there by 7, so I was trying to sleep till 6:30 or something, because I was right by the airport. And the dumb, at about 5:30, I get my phone ringing, and or a text message saying that my flight is on time and everything is fine. Just what I wanted for that last hour of sleep. Anyway, so yeah, that's probably true. The number one thing I do now is my kids have taught me to turn off the notifications. I turn off everything pretty much this time of day, and WhatsApp I turned off forever. And luckily I can read it on my computer and see that there's something from my granddaughter if I want to. But Tom has some great points here, and he goes on. 71% of app installs are triggered by push notification. In the pursuit of customer experience, brands sometimes create a crappy customer experience. Ever visited a site because you have a question on a product you bought and it starts following you around for weeks? Oh yes. You know what I'm talking about, retargeting. I do only shopping on private browsers. It's a tip for you. In pursuit of customer experience, yeah, we did that one. There's a fine line between effective and annoying. We hope these helpful insights will improve our users' experience by prompting them to revisit the site in the event they momentarily turn their focus elsewhere. That's from The Onion, founded in Madison, Wisconsin, of course, when I was in college. Okay, here's inside the mind of the consumer with all the MRI scanning. And there's all these topics: mom and dad, Fifi, home, sunsets, travel, friends, my kids. I don't see our brand of pickle relish anywhere. Inconceivable. This is a brand loyalist, right? That doesn't mean that's all they think about. We're going to get to that in context marketing in a second. Having trouble sleeping? $5 off nighttime sleep aids. They weren't having trouble sleeping, but now they are. Wake them up in the middle of the night. Yeah, turn off your phone. Okay, next time you could just opt out of notifications from the marketers. The guy's sitting there with a broken phone. So Tom's got it right on. We know that Tom's got it right on, right? Okay, here's something I didn't know about. The Better Business Bureau sees business email compromise scams as one of the number one growing fraud risks. $3.1 billion since 2016. And so there was a study by Finance Crimes Enforcement Network. And what it basically is BEC attacks result in greater losses than any kind of fraud. A friend of mine told me he got one. As we were talking, he worked for a security, internet security thing, kind of like LifeLock, for a while. And I told him some of the emails I'd gotten, and he said he'd gotten one from his boss saying, "Wire me money. I'm stuck in St. Louis," or something. He didn't think that was legit. They pretend to be from a person's boss, Most people will open the emails when they appear to come from a senior executive, and some really do come from the superior's email account. So you got two issues. One is tighten up your security on your own email, which I'm working on now. The second is let's adopt some tricks so that you know it's me. And that's where I head, and I'll explain that in a second. Okay, so wire me money. A vendor wants money wired to a different account. I'm very suspicious of vendors and wiring. I don't wire money to vendors. I send them a check. Executives requesting copies of employee tax information such as W-2 forms, etc. There's lots of them here. So from a technical standpoint, Better Business Bureau says require multi-factor authentication. That probably won't help you when you receive one. Let's leave those aside. Let's leave the ones aside that say senior executives should protect their email account. That's a different issue. But this one I thought was interesting. Change settings so that all emails coming from outside an organization are flagged with a warning. Well, heck, that's just about everybody. That's everything, right? But it would be interesting. I think it'd be better to flag ones that were genuinely from internal. But that doesn't help if their account is hacked. So here's one that I use. Very, very simple. Better than these. Okay, I always have a greeting at the bottom of my signature, and it's fairly elaborate. So because most of the phishing scams say, I saw this, I thought you'd be interested. You know, signed the person or something like that. And I never send emails like that. Basically never. Even if I send from from my phone or an account that doesn't have an elaborate signature, I always put something so that my recipients will know it's me. What that means is, it takes a little extra time, but what it means is that when it's not you, they know it's not you, because you never send emails that are just naked and say, you should look into this, or why don't you click this link, or why don't you open this document. Okay, all of the above, so there's some help for you. Okay, switching brands. I thought this was interesting. Okay, 62% of consumers said they don't switch because a brand has beat them up, but because some other brand successfully attracted them. They want to try new things. And there's a whole segment of the population that just wants new experiences. They're not very loyal long term. They're not the kind of customer you really want to attract because they go away. However, banking, with automotive and supermarkets being the easiest switchables, banking found previous poor customer service was a reason to switch. I just had a bank basically pay me 0.01% interest for a few months rather than 1%. I just found that out. They said 1%. They meant 1% of 1%, which is 1/100th what they should have been paying. Anyway, consumers over 50 feel underrepresented by brands. Here's what's interesting. 69% said they were underrepresented in media imagery. And one of the things they said was 71% show older people with wrinkles and with age spots. Notice, no wrinkles, no age spots. I do have gray hair. I don't dye my hair. They said they should have dyed hair. Yes, I did for a while. My daughter, who was like 15, gave me a pack of it, I think as a joke. But, I'm feeling really great and no wrinkles. But most of the elder care people on TV are looking a lot older. It's bimodal. They're either young and attractive or they're old and unattractive. So get somebody like me, an old guy, and you might help things. Consumer confidence is up from August, but not quite as high as it was a year ago. So take that into your planning. Okay. Last, I want to go over to context advertising, and it's too late, but cookies are dead. They asked him, what about cookies? Yep, they're absolutely going away. Firefox defaults to killing them. Apple defaults to killing them. Chrome has some settings that let you kill them. And with GDPR and consumer CCPA, they're going away. So what do? You use context. Now, what the interesting thing is that I grew up in the mailing list industry. And so we're going to talk about that. And we used to rent lists. So, and I did some work for Bon-Ami Starch, one of the oldest brands in America. And they were trying to sell a little catalog with cleaning products to people that have bought another one of their products, which was the garden weasel on TV. And I said, They said it didn't work. And I said, oh, well, does anyone else rent the garden weasel list? Oh, sure, lots of people. Gardening supply people. I said, did it ever occur to you you're trying to sell cleaning products to people who bought gardening products? No, it hadn't. So anyway, they put some gardening products in and did better. I worked for Wyndham Hill Music, and they said we're renting lists. We've surveyed and profiled our audience, and they're 35 to 55, male, high income, high education. That's our main customer group. We rent those lists and it doesn't work. Sometimes the hardest thing about consulting is not laughing. I said, well, just because let's say all your customers were that doesn't mean all people that are like that are your customers. The flip side isn't necessarily true. And so they looked at me like a deer in the headlights. I said, how many of these little Hummers do you get rid of in a year? I happen to have one. Ray Lynch. This is Wyndham Hill. Cool jazz stuff. It came under the new age, but it's more like contemporary jazz. Anyway, and they said, oh, about 4 million. I said, why don't you put a little card in there that says, we have a free catalog, or nowadays it'd be check out our collections, our website. And they tried it. They generated 600,000 new leads, and they generated 90,000 new customers in about 6 months. And then they went and sold out to BMG Records and made $16 million for the owner, and I got $5,000. Anyway, so context is coming back, but you need to think about it. Get an old direct marketing guy, and it might save you some time and trouble. Have a great day. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. Bye-bye.